I didn't know that a single sentence could destroy a childhood. But that night, I learned it could. I was 8 years old. And until that evening, I thought my life was normal. We didn't have much. Our apartment was small. The paint on the walls was peeling. And sometimes the lights flickered when too many things were plugged in. But it was home. And to me, that was enough. At least, that's what I believed. Until I started noticing the changes. It began with whispers. Late at night, behind a closed bedroom door, I would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to my parents argue. Their voices were low, sharp, like knives trying not to make noise. Bills. Debt. We can't keep doing this. I didn't understand everything. But I understood one thing. Something was wrong. And somehow, I had a feeling it had something to do with me. The next morning, everything felt different. My mom didn't smile when I walked into the kitchen. She just handed me toast. Burnt. Like she wasn't even paying attention. Mom. She didn't look at me. Yes. Did I do something wrong? That made her pause. Just for a second. Then she shook her head. No, just eat. But her voice felt empty. That was the first time. My home didn't feel like home. Days passed. Then a week. And things only got worse. My dad stopped talking during dinner. Just sat there, staring at his plate. My mom started working late. Or at least, that's what she said. Sometimes I would sit alone in the living room, watching the door, waiting. 'Cause no matter what, kids always wait for their parents. But that night, they were both home. And that's when everything changed. Come sit down. My father's voice was different, too calm. I walked slowly to the table, my small hands gripping the edge of the chair, my heart beating faster, for reasons I couldn't explain. My mom wouldn't look at me. She just kept staring at the table. That scared me more than anything. Are we in trouble? I asked. No one answered. The silence stretched, heavy, uncomfortable. Then my dad finally spoke. We can't afford to raise you anymore. I blinked. Once, twice. I didn't understand. What do you mean? My voice sounded small, like it didn't belong to me. My mom finally spoke. It's just, things are hard right now. We have to make difficult decisions. I looked between them, confused, scared. I can help, I said quickly. I won't ask for toys anymore. I'll eat less. I promise I'll be good. My dad shook his head. It's not about that. Then what is it? I asked. His next words cut deeper than anything. It's about you. Silence filled the room. And in that moment, something inside me started to break. You're saying, I swallowed hard. You don't want me? My mom's lips trembled. But she didn't deny it. That was my answer. Kept waiting for them to say it was a joke. For them to hug me and tell me everything was okay. But they didn't. Instead, my mother stood up, walked to my room, and came back with a bag. She placed it on the table, right in front of me. Pack your things, she said quietly. We're taking you somewhere tomorrow. And that's when I realized this wasn't a conversation. It was goodbye. I didn't sleep that night, not even for a second. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, watching shadows crawl across the walls. Because every time I closed my eyes, I saw that bag, sitting on the table, waiting for me. I kept telling myself it wasn't real. Parents don't just get rid of their kids, right? But deep down, I already knew the truth. Morning came too fast, and somehow, the house felt colder than ever before. No one said good morning. No one looked at me. Even the air felt heavy, like something was about to snap. My bag was already packed. Clothes, a toothbrush, my favorite toy car. That's when it hit me. They packed it before I even woke up. Where are we going? I asked. My mom grabbed her keys. You'll see. That answer felt wrong. The car ride was quiet. Too quiet. I sat in the back seat, holding my bag tightly, like if I let go, everything would fall apart. I kept looking out the window, trying to recognize something, anything, but the streets started to change. The shops disappeared. The buildings got older, quieter. We were going farther and farther away from home. Dad. No response. Dad. Where are we going? His hands tightened on the steering wheel, but he didn't answer. That's when fear stopped being a feeling and became something real, something heavy, something I couldn't escape. The car finally slowed down. We stopped in front of a small house. Old, quiet, unfamiliar. Get out, my dad said.
No explanation. No emotion.
Just those two words. I stepped out slowly. My legs felt weak, like they didn't belong to me anymore. The door opened. My aunt stood there. She looked at me, then at my parents. Then she sighed. You didn't tell him? She asked quietly. My mom crossed her arms. It's better this way. Better. That word echoed in my head. What's going on? I asked. No one answered. I looked at my dad. Dad? He looked at me for a second. Just 1 second. Then he looked away. And in that moment, I understood everything. You're leaving me here, aren't you? My voice cracked. Small. Broken. My mom finally spoke. It's just for a while. But even at 8 years old, I knew what a lie sounded like. Please don't do this, I said. I'll be better. I won't ask for anything. I won't cost anything. My dad turned away, walked back to the car. Dad! I ran toward him. Please, I'll do anything. He opened the door, sat inside, and closed it. That sound felt louder than anything I had ever heard. I turned to my mom, tears streaming down my face. Mom, please don't leave me. For a moment, her eyes softened, like she might stay, like she might choose me. But then, she turned away and walked to the car. No. I shook my head. This couldn't be real. The engine started. And in that moment, everything inside me collapsed. Please don't leave me, I screamed, louder than I ever had before. But they didn't stop. The car pulled away, slowly, then faster, and I stood there, watching it disappear, waiting, hoping, praying they would come back. But they didn't, and that was the moment I stopped being their child and became someone no one wanted. The first night in that house was the quietest night of my life. Not peaceful, not calm, just empty. I stood at the doorway for a long time, holding my bag like it was the only thing keeping me from falling apart. No one told me where to go. No one told me I was safe. And that's when it hit me for the first time. This wasn't a temporary place. This was where unwanted things were sent. Are you going to stand there all day? My aunt's voice cut through the silence like a blade. I flinched before I even realized it. Come in, she said, already turning her back on me. She didn't wait. She didn't check if I followed. And in that moment, I learned something that would stay with me for years. No one waits for you when you don't matter. The house felt cold. Not the kind of cold you fix with a blanket, but the kind that sits inside your chest and refuses to leave. There were no family photos.
No laughter.
No signs that anyone had ever been loved there. Just walls.
Bare silent walls.
Your room is down the hall, she said. I hesitated. Can I call my mom? I asked quietly. She stopped, slowly turned around, and looked at me like I had said something ridiculous.
No.
Just one word. Flat, cold, final. That's when the truth hit harder than anything before. They weren't coming back. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not ever. My room wasn't really a room. It was small, empty, like it had been waiting for someone like me. There was a bed, a dresser, nothing else.
No toys. No color.
No sign that a child was supposed to live there. I placed my bag on the floor and sat on the edge of the bed. And for a moment, I just waited, because part of me still believed this was a mistake, that the door would open, and my mom would walk in and say,
I'm sorry.
Let's go home. But the door never opened. Dinner was silent, painfully silent. Every small sound felt too loud. The clink of a fork, the scrape of a plate, my own breathing. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know if I was allowed to speak. Until she finally said, "You'll help around here." I looked up, confused. "What? You're not here for free." Those words hit harder than anything else that day, because I had heard them before. Different voice, same meaning. "I'm 8, I said softly. She shrugged. "Then you're old enough to understand." And just like that, I stopped being a child in that house. That night I cried into my pillow, quietly, so no one would hear, because something inside me already knew. No one would come even if they did. The next morning changed everything. Wake up. It was still dark outside. Get dressed. I rubbed my eyes. What time is it? Time for you to start earning your stay. That was the moment I understood something terrifying. I wasn't family. I was a responsibility no one wanted. Days turned into routines. Clean.
Vens.
Carry. Repeat.
No pras. No kindness.
No good job. Just expectations. I stopped asking questions. Stopped hoping. Stopped expecting anything at all. But the worst part wasn't the work. It wasn't the silence. It wasn't even the loneliness. It was the way she looked at me, like I didn't belong there, like I didn't belong anywhere. One evening, I made a mistake. Plate slipped from my hands and shattered on the floor. The sound echoed through the house like a warning. She turned slowly, her eyes sharp, cold. "Do you have any idea how much that cost?" she snapped.
I'm sorry, he whispered.
"I didn't mean to." "Of course you didn't," she cut in. "You never mean to be a problem." Problem. That word stayed, followed me, settled inside me, because slowly, I started to believe it. I wasn't a child. I wasn't someone worth keeping. I was a problem people got rid of. That night, I sat on the floor holding my toy car, the only piece of my old life I had left. And for the first time, I didn't cry, because something inside me had changed. Something quiet, something cold, something that whispered, "Stop expecting." And that was the moment I stopped waiting for someone to save me, because deep down, I finally understood the truth. No one was coming. The day I was sent away again, I didn't cry, not because it didn't hurt, but because I had already learned something most people never do. Crying doesn't change anything. "Get your things," my aunt said, not even looking at me. I stood there for a second, not shocked, not confused, just empty. "Where am I going?" I asked. She sighed like I had asked something annoying. "Somewhere that can deal with you." Deal with me. That's what I was now. Something to be handled. I picked up my bag. Bag. Same few clothes. Same toy car. But I wasn't the same. The car ride felt shorter this time. Maybe because I wasn't hoping anymore. Maybe because I already knew this wasn't going to be better. When we stopped, I looked up. A large building stood in front of me. Old, gray, cold. Children stood near the entrance. But they weren't playing. They were watching me. "Go," my aunt said.
No gudbie. No hesitaschen.
"Just go." And just like that, she drove away. Again. I stood there, gripping my bag tighter than ever. But this time, I didn't run after the car. I didn't beg. I didn't scream. Because I had learned something new. No one comes back. "New kid." The voice came from behind me. I turned slowly. 3 boys stood there. Older, bigger, stronger, and smiling. Not a kind smile. The kind that makes your stomach drop. "Looks like he brought his whole life in that bag." One of them laughed. "Give it here," another said, stepping closer. My grip tightened.
No.
The word came out before I could stop it. For a moment, everything went quiet. Then they laughed. "Did you hear that?" one of them said. He said no. The next second, one of them shoved me hard. I hit the ground. My bag slipped from my hands, and my toy car rolled out. They noticed immediately. "Well, what's this?" One of them smirked, picking it up. "Give it back." I said, my voice shaking, but louder this time. Or what? He asked. That question changed something inside me, because for the first time, I didn't feel scared. I felt angry, not loud anger, not explosive. Something deeper, something that had been building for a long time. I said, give it back. This time, my voice didn't shake. They looked at each other, amused. Then, he threw it. The car hit the wall and snapped in half. Something inside me broke with it. Before I even realized what I was doing, I was on my feet, running straight at him. I shoved him as hard as I could. He stumbled back, surprised, not expecting me to fight. You don't touch my things, I shouted. That was my first mistake. Or maybe my first step toward surviving. Because the next moment, they all jumped me. Punches, kicks, pain exploding from everywhere. I fell. But I didn't stop. I swung back, wild, desperate, angry. I didn't win, not even close. But something happened that day, something important. They stepped back, breathing hard, looking at me differently, not as a victim, but as a problem. And for the first time, that felt like power. I lay there on the ground, bruised, bleeding, broken. But I didn't cry, because something inside me had changed again. Something stronger this time, something dangerous. As I reached for the broken pieces of my toy car, a thought crossed my mind. A quiet one, cold one. No one is coming to protect you, so you better learn how to protect yourself. And that was the day I stopped being a victim and started becoming something else. Something this world had created. A survivor.